Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Genesis Alpha 1. We've had a great response already from you guys wanting to join the crew, and I've got a nice little list starting to compile. I'm going to go ahead and start making some of those changes right now. I've had no requests for female crew yet, so the two existing female members of crew will stay as they are, but if somebody comes in and wants to become a female member of the crew, then they will go straight into the crew. Whereas there is now a bit of a list building for male members of the crew. I've got to remember where I assign them all. There should be somebody in here. Who we got in here? Yep, Aguado. Okay, so we're going to rename Aguado. And the very first member of the new crew is Roughhouse Gaming. So, congratulations, Rough. You are now a member of the crew, and Randy Donaldson is the second member of the crew who will be joined. So let's see if we can find the other male crew member. I think it's King. It is. So there we go. We have our first two official fan-named crew members as part of the crew of the HMS JBPG. So let's see, where did we get up to? We have debris that we need to pull in. We want the iron, don't we? So let's start grabbing that. Just checking I've got everything in place over here. What have I got on me? One barrier. Everything's looking good so far down here. Let me check the state of my workshop. What do I have in terms of materials? One sulfur, one lithium. And do I have anything in here? No, we fully cleaned that cupboard out, didn't we? So we're going to need to find more lithium. We're going to need to find more sulfur so we can build up a stockpile of barriers and turrets. While we're doing that, we also need to stockpile some iron so we can afford to build ourselves a hangar and so on and so forth.
If you're not satisfied with their layout, or if you have other reasons to destroy them.
And I want to get down onto planetary expeditions as soon as possible. One other thing we can do as well is we can maybe see if we can add another clone. I don't know if I'm going to have anywhere near enough biomass just yet. How much have I got? I got one bit of biomass. No, so it's not enough. You need, I think, 5 biomass to generate a clone. So we're going to need to kill more invading Griblies on the ship and have them drop biomass before we can look to add an extra crew member.
Resource acquired.
Oh, and that looks to be a potential infestation. Has the cloud dissipated? I always get nervous when I see those green clouds, but I haven't seen it spreading around the dock yet, so maybe it hasn't actually caught hold and we're okay. We'll assume we're safe for now, and then we'll do a little bit of a scout around a little bit later. Let's try and speed up our extraction process a little bit as well.
Resources collected.
Oh, there's another green cloud. Oh, and this one is spreading, look. Or threatening to spread. It gusted off to the side, but nothing has popped up. So maybe... Oh, no, there we go.
Resource beaming complete. Resource acquired.
Do we have anything else popping up? Was that us catching it quickly enough? I think it might be. I'm not seeing any other little clouds popping up in the room, so I think we're okay. Let's just quickly pop through the corridor and check. There's nothing through here. Yeah, I think we got away with that one.
Resource gaining complete. Resources.
Oh, something's come up with this one. I think there's something underneath as well. Look, there's a bit of biomass there. That's helpful. Any biomass up here? No. Oh, look at that. We didn't get rid of the infestation. So now I'm going to have to be vigilant again. I'm actually going to start checking underneath. Just make sure we're okay down here. Everything looks okay so far. Make our way back upstairs again. It's still here, look. It's threatening to spawn somewhere over here as well, I think.
Resources collected.
Nope, still there, look. Same spot. There we go, just about got it. It's trying to spread down here now. Please say that we've got it all. It can be so frustrating trying to stamp out these infestations as soon as they appear, because they're resilient, they're persistent, they just keep on going. I think we're okay now. No, we're not okay. It's still here, look. We have to stamp out these things, because if we leave them unchecked, then all manner of nastiness can just suddenly unleash itself upon the ship. Especially if the infestation turns out to be a hatching infestation rather than one that just seems to spread like this. If it's one that hatches creatures and it just roams unchecked throughout the ship, then all of a sudden you just get a small army of creatures hatching at the same time, and that's it. That's you overrun.
Resource beaming complete.
It's still bouncing around in here. Look.
Resource acquired.
It doesn't help when it keeps spawning on areas I've already shot and destroyed. It hides in the burn marks of the previous shootings. It's very sneaky like that. I think now, maybe, finally, we've got that eradicated. We managed to track it as it bounced around and took it out. So that one seems to be done. What else is in this system? Oh, lithium. Yes, we want the lithium. How much iron are we up to now as well? Let's take a look. Almost out of storage. Might have to build some more storage units. We've got 23 iron. That's actually pretty close to what we need for the next phase of construction on our ship. Okay, I'm just having a quick inspection. Looking around to see if we have any unwanted visitors down here. Seem to be good. Just check the corridors. Yeah, I think we're clear. Oh god, no, we're not clear. We are very not clear. Right. Does that mean that's spread elsewhere through the ship? Not reached here yet. Or here.
Resource acquired.
Did it go underneath as well? No, it didn't go underneath, so this one seems to be a surface infestation only. The fact that it's spread outside the door completely undetected is slightly worrying.
Resource beaming complete.
This is where you end up spending a lot of time just kind of checking and rechecking, thinking you've got something under control, and then suddenly realizing no, you don't. You've got to go and deal with it immediately. Right, but yeah, we're close to being able to afford to set up the next stage of our ship. So that'll be installing the hangar and the refinery and a depository as well. So let's take a quick look at farming.
Welcome
Deposit
to the
is...
module.
Oh, it's a very
Raw
small deposit, look.
materials from the hangar will be moved
Okay,
here by
the
carrier. This is
hangar
our hangar module.
It's slightly off-center,
The
so we
hangar is
can't
necessary to acquire
necessarily
resources,
get perfect symmetry.
or other interesting things from planets and
And what about the
Jupiter.
refinery?
This is the refinery. Raw materials will be enhanced here.
Refinery's a little bit
This
small.
process takes time. To increase refining speed, assign engineers to work in the refinery.
Okay, so what we could try and do is if we put the hangar... Actually, I want the hangar to be kind of a bit further back, because then it allows me space to build here without getting in the way of the hangar. I suppose I need the hangar to be somewhere back here. And then coming off the hangar would be the refinery and the deposit. I want those to be kind of close together. So I need to think about how I'm going to stagger this.
Resource acquired.
Let's kill the rest of the lithium, and then we'll start planning. I think that is the last of the lithium, actually. Nothing seems to have come up. No creepy crawlies dead down here. No biomass to collect. No DNA samples. I've got no space really for the aluminium, but we can at least start processing that lithium into barriers. There we go. We'll get... is that rough? Yeah, we'll get rough to do those. And have I got enough biomass? I've only got 2 bits of biomass. It's not enough for another clone yet. So let's start looking at expanding our ship. Let's go to connections and corridors. I need to maybe move the storage. I'm going to do this. Let's see, how much energy have I got? 46. Let me just drop in some corridors up here for a moment. I'm going to move our storage temporarily so we can build the lower part of the ship. And then we'll relocate the storage to its new home. So let's just drop in a couple of modules over here. Like that. That means I can now delete these ones out. There we go. So what I kind of want is the ability to have storage coming off here like this, I think. And then somewhere down here have the hangar, and then the deposit and refinery will be on the other side. So if we pull up farming and go to the hangar. The hangar itself, as you can see, you can't quite get it to sit perfectly central. It's a little bit too big. That would be perfectly central, but the connection isn't available to be perfectly symmetrical, so it's going to be offset on one side. So we're going to use that to our advantage a little bit and use the other side for the deposit and the refinery. So if we do that, and then Let's see, farming. I want the refinery. Going to rotate that way. Are we symmetrical? Not quite. It's as close as we can really get, I suppose. Let's go to connections. I want to go corridor. And then from this corridor here, this is where we're going to have our deposits. So we go to farming, put a deposit in there. And that's me out of iron. I don't have enough to put in another deposit just here. I've also got the potential to put storage down here as well, on this side, perhaps all the way down here. I have to think about that. But for now, let's remove that bit of corridor and remove that bit of corridor. So you can see that we're still sticking out one block too far on this side to match up on this side. But that's okay. As I say, we can look at keep my crew alive while they're getting that warning. That worries me. Has something come back? Oh god, yeah, look. Something has come back. Have we suffered a casualty? Has someone died? Did I miss? Randy's still here. I'm wondering if someone's just been offed. Yeah. Oh, Mora's sick. So she's been infected by the infestation that we had. She's now sick. That's the first time I've ever had a sick crew member. So I'm not 100% certain what to do now. I'm guessing she just needs to spend a bit of time off in the crew quarters and she'll recover. I don't have a medical treatment room, and it's not an available module to me yet. It's not a case that I don't have one crafted. I don't have the ability to craft one yet. Let's go check on Mora. See if we can see what she's up to. Oh, look at that, look. What is that? Disease sample shroom. There she is. She's not getting better, is she? If not cured, the sufferer may die from the disease and the whole body will turn into a foul substance from which primitive life spawns can form. Oh, this is new. I've never had a crew member who gets sick before. And I have no way, as I say, of healing her, I don't think. I don't have medical quarters, so this could be bad. This could be very bad indeed. Gonna have to. Oh, crew healed. She's okay. Whew. There she is. Mora is healthy again. Okay. Well, it would have been disappointing to have lost a crew member, but at the same time, it would have opened up a another mail slot for one of you guys. So okay, so Mora's okay now. Let's go back down here. Let's just pop in the workshop. Grab the barriers that Ruff has made for us.
Survival guide updated. To increase the size of the ship and to forge weapons, we need to gather resources. In the current quadrant, we have identified more than 300 planets that we can explore and harvest. Select a planet at the hangar terminal. Send the harvester to the planet and wait for its return, or join the expedition. Carrier robots will then move raw material from the hangar to the deposit, and from there to the refinery. Refined materials will be stored in storage modules.
So there you go, a little overview of our hangar there. Obviously we have these access corridors down here. I want to make sure that these are blocked off, and I also want to try and block off the conduit at the same time. So that's got to be positioned at just the right way. Plus I've also found that because of the way the ramps go down like this, sometimes if you have a turret up here or even a turret back here, a creature will get down on this little bit here and then they can't be targeted by the turrets. So I want to try and make sure that the barrier covers as much of that as possible as well. Stop them from being, you know, untargetable. Yeah, that should do for that one. Let's move across to the other side. I want turrets in here as well, but we just don't have any sulfur to make the turrets at the moment, so we're going to have to go looking for more sulfur. There we go. So that's those barriers in place. Eventually what I'll do is I'll double protect them as well, so I'll also put an extra barrier across here as well, so it kind of creates almost like an air gap, like an airlock, maybe a safety net, if you will, so that if the first barrier goes down, there is still a second barrier in place to stop things from rushing forward. We could go on a mission, but as I say, I don't want to run the risk of bringing stuff back that shouldn't be brought back. Not yet. So we need turrets. And for turrets, that means we need... Let's bring Mora back. That means we need to get some more sulfur. So let's highlight sulfur ore. Actually, we've got sulfur on the planet. Now, I think if we go down ourselves, we shouldn't bring anything back with us, but as the ore is processed, there is still the risk of stuff sneaking on board. So I want to go looking for a supply of sulfur in a debris field first. It's easier to control in the initial stages if we can choose how and when we interact with stuff. So let's have a quick look in this system. So again, it's on a planet. Again, planets. We might just have to go to one of these planets. Oh, no, we've got some sulfur here. Okay, that's turrets. That's good. So we'll jump to that system there. We'll go tractor in that bit of sulfur. Make our way. It's very pink outside, I think. So we can see it out the window. What's causing that pink glow? Oh, nope, that's the biotank.
Survival guide update. The ship must provide a proper biosphere for the crew. Different species need different biosphere components to survive. Collect plants from the planets and grow them in greenhouses. To compose the right biosphere for your crew, protect your greenhouses from alien threats at all costs. No plants, no life. Assign gardeners and build greenhouses to optimize the biosphere.
So there we go, a little bit of information about our greenhouse. Where are we? Where were we going? Oh yes, we're going to the tractor beam, weren't we? Let's get that lithium on board, no sorry, the sulfur on board, and start creating a couple of turrets. What else have we got in here as well? More iron, okay. Well, we've used up almost all of our iron now, and we need some storage modules. So we'll definitely grab that iron as well. Let's do a quick inspection again, make sure that we've got no more of those spores knocking around. There's nothing out here. Don't want any more illness in the crew.
Resource beaming complete.
All looks to be clean and clear.
Resources collected.
I suppose once we get to the point where we have got the ability to create a medical centre, it would actually make sense to let our crew get infected so that we can get those mushroom virus spores and use that to research a cure. Then if we do ever have an outbreak of sickness like that, or an infestation that poisons our crew, rather than run the risk of crew members dropping like flies, we will have an antidote that we can work with. I'm watching you, gas cloud. Trying to stop you from spreading. I think if you're quick like that and you take it out as soon as it appears, I think you can stop it from bouncing around the room. Got no biomass. Still need a little bit more biomass. We should have enough atmosphere for one more crew member, because I don't think the captain is counted in terms of available crew. So yeah, we can support a crew of 5 with our current. Actually, no. Our crew quarters supports 5. Our atmosphere currently supports 6. So yes, we are counted. We are very much counted. Oh, I was thinking there for a second. It's getting confused. Our current atmosphere, we have 3 plants that throw out O2, and each of those plants is producing 2 O2. So we have enough atmosphere for 6 O2 breathing crew members. We obviously have 5 at the moment, myself and 4 crew members. So as soon as we get enough biomass, which I think will be 5 biomass in total, we will be able to create that extra clone and bring in another crew member, which we're going to need. We are going to need more crew to staff things like the deposit, well, not the deposit, sorry, the refinery, the hangar, and maybe even the clone lab. Certainly the garden. Once we start bringing some plants back, we're going to need a gardener, because we can plant something in one of the planters and it will just produce its base level of 1 unit of whatever atmosphere it creates. But we need to have a gardener assigned to tend to that plant, which will then allow it to go to 2, 3, 4, however much its maximum production would be. We can't do that ourselves, or at least I haven't figured out how to do that. There doesn't seem to be a way for us to do that. It needs to be someone actually physically assigned in the biosphere. Right, there we go. That's the sulfur. So let's grab the iron while we're in here. I would like a little bit more sulfur, but I'll take what we've got. That should be enough for us to get started. Let's see, turrets. Let's get 2 turrets done. We will head to a planet with sulfur so we can immediately make more turrets. And we want to go through here. Now, any ore that we bring off the ship, it will be sort of stacked up here along this side. This is the side where stuff comes off the harvester. It'll then be, this can carry 5 samples at a time. So once we have 5 samples, the robotniks will come and collect that, and they will take it to a deposit. So they'll bring it through the refinery, and they will start storing it in here. This will hold 8, I think it's 8 units. And then when that one's full, it'll then go to the next deposit, and then the next one, and the next one, until we've run out of deposit space. 1 is not going to be enough. In fact, let's add an extra couple in now. Oh, it's not iron that's the problem, it's energy. We've got enough iron, we don't have enough energy. So we need a reactor to improve the power output of our shit. Right, okay. I need copper. So we're going to have to go and find a copper source. Actually, I can save a bit of copper, or a bit of energy, by getting rid of a couple of these unwanted corridors. Enough to at least put in a second deposit. Because 8 really isn't enough. I would like more storage as well. How much do I need for another storage unit? It's another 5 energy. It is. I don't think I can save another 5 energy. I can save 1, 2, 3. I suppose I could possibly do it for, yeah. Depending on where I put the storage. We put the storage on this side. So this is going to be tricky. How much stuff do I have in storage at the moment? 14. Okay, so I can afford to destroy one of these units. There we go. Let's destroy that corridor as well. Let's move our storage down here. Storage. There we go. Let's destroy this one quickly as well, while we've still got the opportunity. And if ever you're running your tractor beam, for example, or refining, and you run out of storage, if you're running the tractor beam, then the tractor beam will just deactivate. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the resources are lost. It just means that whatever's left over in the debris field will stay waiting to be collected. So if you have 7 units of something in a debris field and you get 3 and then you run out of storage, then there'll just be 4 sat there waiting and continuing to be waiting. Oh, we've got something in the tractor beam. We've got creepy crawlies. I see the red dots. Oh wow, we've had an infestation break out in here. Look. Oh, that's a big infestation. This is what happens when you don't keep an eye on things. Everything can just suddenly run amok. Alright. I think we're missing... Is Mora sick again? She is. Poor Mora. She keeps getting sick. Oh, wow. It's spreading throughout the whole ship, look. Oh, this is not good at all. This is bad. This is going to go straight to the bridge, look. I think we're okay on the bridge.
Resource acquired.
Let's just check the quarters. See if we've got any more of those spores that we can collect. How's she doing? Down to 91. So her health is dropping. The infestation much more severe this time. So there's a risk that she might possibly be a lot more infected. I have no idea how that's going to work. I thought we got rid of everything, but we haven't. It's still here, look. Oh, the whole ship's infested. You see it spreads and then it just starts releasing that poison. Oh, I wonder if it's going to infect Ruff in here.
Resources collected.
He seems okay at the moment. It's trying to spawn again, look. I think. Maybe I got it. Yeah, Ruff's okay. We're clearing the tractor room. Yeah, we seem to be running a little bit slower now because there's only Randy in there, only one crew member, so operating at a slower efficiency than before, but still operating. Let's go back and check on Mora again. See if we got any more spores that we can collect. No, she's recovered, ready for reassignment again.
Resource acquired.
Thought I saw something. It's just the green glow of the biotag underneath the door there for a second. I thought we had something to collect, a bit of biomatter for example. But it looks as though we have dealt with that infestation. That was bad. It's the worst it's spread for a while. And there's nothing underneath. So that was just a surface one, but as I say, there are some that will spawn in the corridors and the tunnels underneath your ship, which is obviously a lot more dangerous, because you don't see those infestations until you suddenly hear, warnings. Unless you start crawling through the tunnels on a regular basis, you have no idea what's down there until you either take a random trip down there or you start getting stuff hatching and, alien life form detected warnings going off like crazy. Right, let's get back to where we were. What were we doing over here? Farming. 1 energy short of an extra storage. There we go, let's take that out. And that's us maxed out for energy. But that gives us 60 storage, which is good. That gives us a bit more storage and 2 deposits as well. I suppose theoretically I could possibly even get rid of one of those deposits and go for an extra storage, but I'd rather have 2 deposits. Because refining can take a while, especially when we don't have that much crew. It can be a bit of a slow process.
Resource acquired.
There we go, a bit more biomass, that's good. Saw a cloud try and sneak up, but I think that hasn't actually taken form anywhere. Nothing on the lower level. Oh, still got a barrier here. Haven't actually. No, I need that barrier for something else. This is what I was going to do when we had that life form detected. Let me just grab that barrier. Where are we? Wrong side. It's down here. One of the problems with stuff being brought in by ship is that the ship itself can bring back creepy crawlies and gribblies and nasties. They can stow away underneath the ship, and then as soon as the ship lands, they suddenly appear on the side and will just charge you. That's bad enough. They can also sneak in on the samples themselves. So there are 2 situations where they could then break free. One is in here, as they get put into a deposit, they could sneak out from here and then start running amok through this part of the ship. And the other is when the sample is brought to a refinery to be processed and turned into a workable material from the ore. So what I like to do is put a barrier just here, because the sample is brought in here and dropped and then loaded in, and it's this point here where the creature would spawn if it has stowed away and stayed hidden inside the sample. So putting a barrier here keeps it trapped, and then we would have a turret sat just here, so that anything that does spawn in is trapped and immediately targeted by the turret. It's not a foolproof system, but it works very, very well. Right. We need sulfur, don't we, for more turrets, and ideally maybe a little bit more for a bit more lithium as well. Let's go here as well, because we can get some lithium. Plus we've got a fern plant, so we can use that to expand our atmosphere and get more crew members. And there are a couple of sites, which means we can get some decent supplies from there. So I'm going to assign 2 crew members, and we're going to take our 2 female crew members in the off chance that they may possibly get bumped off while we're down there. So we've got Mora and Evans. Let's bring Evans from the bridge. We'll go on the away mission with them.
Harvester destination set.
There we go. I've got 3 biomass. It's not enough for a clone yet. We need 5, but we should pick up a fair bit of biomass on the planet. We usually do. So here come Evans and Mora. And if either of them die on this mission, then it frees up a new slot for the list of crew names. Everyone's requesting male crew members at the moment, so... Alright, we are down. So there are two sites on this planet and a plant. I want the plant first of all, so I'm going looking for that. Plants are green. So you can see here, it's the rock, not the actual plant thing right next to it. It's the rock with a plant sample in it. So life forms coming in behind me. Here they come. Only 3, that's easy to deal with. So there is our plant sample. That's one of the 5 sample slots available inside of our harvester. The crew have grabbed some lithium, that's good. There are also 2 sites on this planet as well. Now a site is something that might be maybe a crashed ship or a satellite or a monolith or something. I've got a crawl sample there, that's kind of cool. And we just need to get close enough for it to be scanned. And once we scanned it, we'll get something unlocked.
20%.
Oh, we're here. I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. Look, what is it? It's a crashed satellite. And we found a loot box. Sometimes you'll find like ammo boxes or
60%.
no goodies you can pick up while you're in the vicinity of something like this. So I'm just having a look around, see if there's another one.
All phases complete.
Weapon added.
Alright, so our reward for that was... I'm running because I can't see what's coming at me. There we go. Our reward was a new weapon schematic. I hate it when we've got really tall grass like this and you can't see what's chasing you down until it's a bit too late. Luckily the X-ray caster is quite adept at killing off these low-level creatures. And this is the barrier, this is the border of our sort of playable area. So you can see if we go outside, you can't survive outside the harvester shield. The hostile environmental conditions of the planet will kill us. So that's one of the 2 areas dealt with. Let's go see if we can find the other site. You can see there the crew and the turret on top of our harvester have dealt with a few creepy crawlies. Got some more over here. Oh, another DNA sample as well. Look. Yeah, let's go looking for that second site. Really hard to see anything in this tall grass. But somewhere on here there is a second site, which means a second artifact. That might be
Accessing archives.
a suit boost. There we go, found it. What is that?
20%.
That's a grave. Ah, it's a grave, look. And we've got stuff coming after us.
40%.
I can't see it. Oh, there it is.
60%. 80%.
Still stuff coming.
All phases complete.
Where are you? There we go. Still more coming. From multiple directions. Alright, let's grab
New transmission.
the suit upgrade and get back to the ship as quickly as we can. Where is the ship? I can't even see it. There it is. And we're going to just hang around here for a second and just try and grab as much biomatter as we can. So that we can at least make some clones when we get back. Hell, we might be able to research a new clone type completely by the time we get back as well. Got 5 samples already.
Form detected.
More creepy crawlers coming for us. What have we got? 4 samples of lithium. That's a barrier. And a plant as well. So that's an extra 2 oxygen atmosphere, which means 2 more crew members.
Form detected.
Plus, we're getting quite a nice little bit of biomatter as well. So that means we'll have enough to make clones. Alright, let's make our way back. We grabbed a fair bit of stuff.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
There we go. Ship is ready to launch. Now, one thing I found in pre-release, and I don't know if this was just a pre-release thing or if this is a general thing, but I found that if we went on a mission, we never had anything stow away on the ship itself when we returned. Doesn't mean that there won't be something hiding in the samples, but you know, it means we won't have anything, you know, sneaking off inside the hangar bay. That's something I've discovered. So I need to get that lithium processed into barriers. Needs sulfur. You saw one of our Robotniks on its way down to go and collect. Oh god, another infestation in here. Look. Oh, it hasn't been refined yet. Okay. I wonder if that's left over from the last attack. It must be. Yeah, there's nothing in here, look. Alright, let's make our way back this way. Have we got any life forms being detected? Nope, not yet. So the Robotniks are grabbing the samples off the side of the the harvester. There you go. You can see being brought through. Let's go into this deposit here. There we go. And it's at this point, as soon as it goes onto that pad there to be put into storage, that's the point where something could escape. And then anytime you have an interaction with a sample, so you can see it's now getting ready to take one of those to the refinery, when it reaches its secondary destination, in this case here, there's a chance it'll get out again. Nothing on that sample. Also, that barrier is not quite far forward enough, or far back enough. There we go. Want to protect anybody who's using that terminal, you see. So we brought back that plant sample. That plant could also be housing a little creepy crawly. And we won't necessarily know until that reaches, or until that's taken to the greenhouse. Let's see, how much biomatter do we have now? Enough for some clones? Oh yeah, look at that, we've got 23, so that's more than enough. So let's create a new crew member. And we can now go to the list. And we have, you can see now, insufficient biosphere. So if we want any more clones, we will have to increase the amount of biosphere that we have before we can actually support them. We do have that plant, so we can add in an extra 2 members of crew once that's done. And there we go. Hicks is born, but we are going to rename Hicks to number 3 on the list, which is Red the Dead. So there we go. We now have Red joining the crew. Congratulations, Red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign Red into the greenhouse, so we can get that new plant brought in, and he can then tend that plant. So you can see we can have up to 3 people in here. Let's find Red.
Job assigned.
There we go. Red is going to be looking after our life support system, effectively. And I'm going to grab the plant that we brought back, that fern, which can produce up to 2 O2, and stick that in one of our planters.
Processing.
There we go. So you can see Red is just tending to our plant life in here. The order for that plant has been sent through. One of our robotniks will go to the deposit and grab that plant and bring it through here. And there is a bay somewhere in here. Just here, look. Any plants that are to be planted are put on there and then will appear in one of these pools. And this is also an opportunity for a creature that's been hiding inside one of those samples to then suddenly burst out. So again, I'm hanging around in here just to make sure that nothing is going to sneak out of that sample. And if it does, you know, we're here to kill it. Here comes our robotnik with the plant sample. Any stowaways? Nope, no stowaways. Excellent. So that will now get planted. I think it'll probably be planted in here. That's the one that's got the flashing beacons. And then that'll produce 1 O2. And then Red will continue to just tend to that plant, and it'll then mature the plant up to size so they can produce 2 O2 and allow us an extra, or a second extra crew member, because we can only support 1 extra at the moment. Let's go down back to the clone lab. There we go. You can see biosphere added O2 1. So we can now... Oh, we've got no crew cabins left. Okay, so we alright, we're a bit of an impasse. We need more more space. So it does look as though the crew cabins don't count the captain. But now we need copper. Let's see. There's a merchant nearby. I'm going to jump over to the merchant and see if we can maybe trade with the merchant. Oh, he's disappeared. And you can see here we've got these areas with red. That means we can't enter these. You need to have shields on your ship to be able to enter areas with sunstorms or cosmic spores or meteors, things like that. And they will offer you a degree of protection. The more shields you have on your ship, the stronger your chances of those shields staying intact. Without them at all, our crew would die, so we can't even enter there. But they would change colour, you know, depending on how strong our shields were. So it's red, which means we can't go in there at all. It could go to orange, which means it would be dangerous, but we could go in there, I think. And green means we could go in there freely, but even green is not 100% guarantee of safety. You can see there, biosphere added O21. That's the plant being tended. And the merchant has disappeared. No idea where he's gone, but we're still... Actually, we could have copper in here. We haven't got anyone in here to scan, have we? Let's quickly start scanning the area, see if there's any copper in the area. We need more crew quarters to be able to support more crew. We have the atmosphere now. We have the material to create the crew as well, but we don't have anywhere to house them. And we don't have enough power to create a new crew quarters. So we need to find copper so we can build a reactor so that we can then build a crew quarters so that we can then create the clones. It's a step-by-step process. We are going to get there though. So let's quickly scan like this. We'll do it ourselves. See if we can find a source of copper. And as soon as we do, that'll be where we'll go. We'll build ourselves a reactor, boost the power output of our ship by another 40 energy, and then we can really start cranking up and expanding the crew. Alright, let's see. Do we have any copper in the area? No. We still don't have any copper in the area. Everything in here, well, not everything in that one's been scanned. Nothing in that one's been scanned. Iron, plants, more plants, sulfur, more sulfur as well. Okay. I will continue scanning then, and we'll see what comes up once I've finished scanning everything in our sort of vicinity. So this seems like a good place for us to end this episode. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Genesis Alpha 1 and hopefully a copper deposit very soon.